Do you speak African? Aren't you from the hood?
Wow. Can I have your hair?
So your dad's the black one, right?
Why do you talk like a white girl?
What do you mean you can't play basketball?
You speak Spanish, you're not black. Why are you such an angry black woman? Can you even comb your hair?
Dance with me.
Sis?
Hey, what's up? How's it going? Hey.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, I have a big break between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m.
Yeah.
So, what's new with you?
Oh, shoot.
What's wrong?
I have a meeting in Hebron in 5 minutes. I totally forgot.
Okay.
I'm gonna head out, but I'll see you all later.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Come again.
So, what just happened here? This was a microaggression. This face was caused by a microaggression. Now we're going to break this down in 3 steps. Step 1. What exactly is a microaggression? Well, according to Dr. Gerald Wing Su, microaggressions are the everyday verbal, nonverbal insults, whether intentional or unintentional. They communicate negative messages to people based on marginalized group membership. Now, step 2, what exactly made this a microaggression? Much of this is outside the level of consciousness. In this situation, the unconscious stereotyping was that of another culture's language. And step 3, what can we do to make it better? Just say goodbye.
Fat people so often offend others in society, and I find that it's one of the last socially acceptable prejudices.
I absolutely agree with you on that one, but what about people who are concerned about you? I mean, there might be people concerned you're going to keel over and die because maybe your body, your heart won't be able to sustain all the enthusiasm that you have.
That's true. I do have a lot of enthusiasm. I think that the concern for health is often a mask to discriminate or to be cruel to fat people. I think there are actually very few people in my life who care and love me enough to be genuinely concerned about my health. And as far as my health goes, I would like to break some stereotypes about fat people, because even at 380 pounds, I'm certainly not naive to the health risks that may come if I stay this weight. But I have no major health problems. I've never even had high blood pressure.
Yet, Whitney.
Right, yet.
I think that people have a blanket idea that all fat people are unhealthy and all fat people are unfit and all fat people are miserable, whereas we are not one person, we are a group of individuals, and each individual has their own relationship to their health and their bodies. I have an incredibly engaged physical activity, and I'm the size that I am.
Julius, you're a fitness trainer. What do you think of Jenny and Dorothy being happy with their bodies?
I think that's fantastic. Are you healthy? Have you been to the doctors and they've told you that you're healthy?
Well, I think that's quite a loaded question, because I don't think anyone here who's thin is going to be asked that. So I guess that's what I would say to that answer, that we have to look as well at the assumptions that are made. And I would say you can't actually tell someone's lifestyle or health by looking at them. I do think that there's such a health focus in our country that I call it healthism, a kind of moral obligation for people to be healthy. And I think that we have to watch that too.
But isn't that because it costs taxpayers a lot of money if the population isn't healthy? People have to go to hospital, they have various kinds of diseases. Isn't that part of the reason why there's that focus?
Well, perhaps, and but I also think that there's very much a focus on fat and health in our culture, on obesity and health.
Yeah, it's interesting that you've just assumed that I eat bad food because of my size.
I'd like to know, because if you're really healthy, do you have any joint issues, or so you're completely...
I swim 2.5 kilometres a day. I walk, I exercise all the time. I am in a synchronised swimming team, and I really resent the fact that I have to actually justify my existence and my ability to live in the world in a bigger body.
But yet at the same time, we live in a world that is not made for people who are fat. Airplanes, buses, chairs in people's homes. It must be difficult.
It is difficult, and those are the things that we are seeking to change. We're changing the paradigm that we are not the problem. The problem is that our world doesn't accommodate a diversity of bodies. So that's what we need to change, not so much changing who we are and changing our body, but instead changing society. I think that exercising is good, activity is good. My thought is that weight needs to be set aside, and that regardless if I gain, lose, or stay the same, that's not important to me. What's important to me is that I'm getting the nourishment, the nutrition, the sleep, the activity that my body needs. There is nothing you can tell by a person by noting their body size except their body size. You don't know their behaviors, you don't know their habits, you don't know their health.
We visited campus to ask Occidental students if they agree that the following statements could be considered microaggressions. I'm asking an Asian American, where were you born?
Yes.
What about saying all lives matter?
I think because the history behind Black Lives Matter, it's kind of like appropriating a statement that was created specifically to talk about Black lives being lost to police brutality, so that is.
I believe the most qualified person should get the job.
Qualifications aren't really the only thing you should consider when hiring someone.
But if you're saying that the most qualified person is someone who is not a minority, you're not of a religion you believe in, then yes, that'd be a microaggression.
Saying God bless you after somebody sneezes.
Oh, that would be a microaggression because of different religions.
Yeah, it could be a microaggression to someone who doesn't believe in God.